Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Juju's Journey. I'm a 57-year-old widow. I've been a widow now for a little over a year. I started January 2025 the zero-based budget envelope stuffing technique because I really needed to make sure I was going to be okay financially after my husband passed away. And it's the best decision I've ever made, hands down. I only wish that I had started using this method when my husband and I got married over 33 years ago, 33, 35 years ago. Can't remember. We were together forever. But I am so amazed on how much sense this process makes. It's a zero-based budget, and if you do not know what that is, that means you take your income and you give every dollar that you make a job to do. Of course, you've got to pay your bills to start out with, right? So automatically your money goes to those bills. And then anything extra that you do not have to pay, you've got to pay all of your bills first. You've got to have groceries. You've got to have gas in your car. You've got to have, your essentials have to be paid for first. But then you have that extra money if you're lucky. And a lot of times we spend it. We don't even think about it. If we put it in a savings account, we might say, well, it's only $200. And then you go to the mall and you're like, I think I really do want that sweater. Or it's okay. It's only $200 and I get paid on Thursday. And you spend it. But with a zero-based budget, you don't have $200 left over. You've already spent it. And I'll tell you how it works. So you're going to have I'm lucky enough I'm debt-free. I don't have a house payment. I don't have credit cards. I do not have a car payment. But say, for example, if you had credit card payments, you're going to have to pay all of those bills, then pay for your credit card. And those are things that you are paying so much interest on just because you had this need to get something that you didn't have the cash for. So you really want to get out of debt. So in this method, if you have debt, your first goal is to pay off your credit cards. And then once you pay off your credit cards, then you want to start paying off like your car note. And then once you do that, you want to pay off your house. You want to be debt-free, and you want your money to be your money. You don't want your money to belong to anybody else. Does that make sense? You want to be debt-free so you can not have all the stress that comes with owing people money. You cannot imagine how I felt wondering if I could survive last year. Because when my husband passed away, I lost I didn't lose it. We lost his Social Security. I'm still living in our family home that we've owned for 27 years. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet. I've still, have to pay insurance on this house. I still had a house payment. I have to pay the electricity on this large house for just one person. The insurance. I had 3 cars that I had to pay insurance on and taxes on when he passed away. And I lost his Social Security, which cut our income down dramatically. I mean, you're talking about someone that was scared to death. And I knew that I was going to have to pay my house insurance coming up the next year. And I knew I was going to have to pay my car taxes. I mean, it was tough in my head. Like, it was so scary. But, thank God I was in the position that we did have a retirement. And thank God I have someone that a financial advisor that advises me and tells me what realistically I can and cannot afford. And right now, what I can get realistically without depleting all of our retirement is $3,000 a month. And until December, part of that $3,000, $800, like $797 a month went to my house payment. And if I'm having a hard time when I sat down to do my budget for January, oh my goodness. I mean, if it is still, I had to go back and redo because I was over budgeted. And I had an extra almost $800 to put into my budget this year versus last year. So it's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I budgeted for. I'm going to show you how I do it. I encourage you, if you can do this method, you will be amazed, because not only was I able to pay my bills with that little bit of money, I've lived on I didn't do anything that really costs money. The few little trips I went on, all I had to do was pay gas. My children, I visited them on their vacations, and they didn't let me pay for food or anything like that. So I didn't do much. The only thing I did that cost me money last year is go to one wedding where I had to buy 2 hotel nights, and I went to a 5K, and I had to pay the entry fee, which was like $55, and buy lunch. Those are the only 2 adventures that I had last year that I personally paid for. If that tells you just how crunch for money I was. And I'm going to find joy this year, and I do want to find those adventures, and I want to be able to fund them myself and not just be a tag-along with my children all the time, which is fine. I mean, they don't mind. But, so anyway, let's just quit talking and get down to business. I feel like I'm rambling, which I always do. So, what I did is I made my budget. I have all of my categories that are very important to my life. I have insurance, water, electricity, phone, internet, checking fees, car service plan, scrubby, subscription, gas. Those are items that are drafted out of my checking account every single month. So I have to make sure I have $1,016 in my checking account every single month. You really don't want to just keep the basic money in there. You want to have probably a couple of 100s extra, just in case something happens. And then my high priority things that I need to save for, well, we'll jump over here. Then I have my cash wallet. You've got to have money for yourself. You can't just go into this journey, hopefully, without having a little bit of money to spend. Me, I put $50 a week towards myself. Hopefully I won't spend the whole 50 and then I can save it up, or I can roll it over to go to one of my sinking funds. That's really up to you, but you want to be able to have a little bit of money, whether it's $20. You try to find a little bit of money so you don't feel so deprived. You have to have groceries. You do not have to dine out, but I do have a category for dining out because I do eat out probably about once a week. And then you have to have lunch, which I do lunch with my daughter, so I do have a lunch fund. And then miscellaneous, that's to give you a little extra cushion in case you go over in your cash wallet. You know, maybe you spent $55 on groceries, so you're going to use $5 of the miscellaneous. And then this year I added a category of giving, which is only $5 a week in my cash wallet. And then you have your house taxes, house insurance, car taxes, car insurance, tax prep, house maintenance, car maintenance, emergency, medical, savings. I save for a month ahead. We adopted children for Christmas this past year. I want to continue to do that. That's a Christmas child. I would like to give cash donation to the fire department because they also adopt 100 kids for Christmas. And I would like to give to that as well. And then I want to have a little bit of money for monthly giving. And but and then I want to save for Easter. These are new categories: Thanksgiving, Christmas. Because I did not save for Easter baskets this past year. I did not save for money to buy food for Thanksgiving. I did not save for money to buy for Christmas dinner. And then I have pets and vet and personal care. Those are my categories that I save every month. And the way I do it, I only get paid once a month. But I like to stuff my envelopes once a week. Because if something were to happen, the way I look at it is then I still have the money in the bank and I can take care of it instead of going back and unstuffing all of my envelopes. That would be too hard for me. But throughout my process last year, I was able to set up, I was able to become 1 month ahead, meaning I was able to have $3,000 in my checking account that stays there all the time. Throughout my savings and being very budget conscious and everything else, I was able to put away $3,000 because my goal is to be 6 to 9 months ahead. But with that being said, I keep $3,000 in my checking account. Anything extra that I've saved, I put into a high yield savings account to earn extra interest. And I use the bank Ally, A-L-L-Y. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this. You can go look. I'll put a link to their bank in my description. I know their interest that they're paying is over 3%, but I think it's somewhere between 3.4 to 3.5%. And I do not have a lot of money in that account because I just opened it up like last July, June or July. But I'm very pleased with the outcome because for the little bit of money that I have saved there, I would not be drawing anything at my local bank with my money sitting in that savings account, you know? So with that being said, look into Ally. It's a trusted bank. It's a real deal. It's not a scam. Okay, so what I choose to do and I didn't start doing this until probably 4 months, probably in the middle of the summer. I was going to say like 4 months ago, but it was probably more like 6 months ago. Once I became 1 month ahead in my checking account, I like to pull all my money out once a month. That way I don't have to run to the bank once a week. I used to go weekly to the bank and get my denominations that I needed to stuff my envelopes. But now that I'm 1 month ahead, I just go ahead and do my budget. And everything that I stuff on a weekly basis is the same. So it just makes sense to go ahead and get it all out at one time for me. And so I call this my bank binder. So this $3,000 will end up in this binder when we're done. And then this binder will become my bank for the whole month of January. And so when I start stuffing my envelopes tomorrow, on a Sunday, I'm going to stuff on Sundays, I will pull the money from this bank binder. And then, of course, I keep this bank binder in my safe. I'll keep all my money in my safe. But and it's also good to me. I like to have a little cash around anyway in case of emergencies instead of having to go to the bank. So that also gives me a little extra sense of security, too, to have a little bit of cash on hand. But although I have bills that are drafted, I do pull that money as well because just me personally, I'm not, to be, for me to be obedient to this process, I'd have to have a relationship with the money. So if my bill gets paid, drafted, I like to pull it out of my binder and pay it. I'll pay it back to my bank bag and maybe deposit it back into my checking account. Or I may just hold on to it, and instead of pulling the whole $3,000 next month, use what I have in my bank bag and make it total $3,000. But whatever I do pull it from my when I pay my water bill, I will take the money out and actually feel like I'm paying my bill. That's just how I like to do it. Some people can just leave it in the bank and know it's gone. I want to see my money disappear, because then that will make me want to say, girl, you might not need to wash all those clothes or blankets this month, or maybe you shouldn't take so many hot bubble baths. You know, it will make me want to turn out the lights if I'm physically paying my electric bill. Or, I mean, just things that you can save money on. If you're physically paying and giving your money away, it makes you more like aware of what, if you can save money or cut back or do something different. Okay, that's just the way my brain works. So I went to the bank. I have all of my denominations. I did that whenever I did my budget planning. Like for insurance, I know I'm going to need 2 100s, 150, and 1 5. But let's go ahead and do this really quick. And Juju has to get, and of course Juju's me. I get $200 a month. Weekly, I get 50. And so the way I work that out is Juju gets 20. I get 8 20s and 4 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 10s. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we've got 20, 40, 60. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Okay, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, what did I do wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200. Girl, get with it. I had a great day yesterday. I hope everybody had a great day. So the next category is groceries. And I'm going to get the same thing, 8 20s and 4 10s. $20, $40, $60, $80, $100, $20, $40, $60, $70, $80, $90, and $200. Okay. And dining out, I need 4 20s and 4 10s. So we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 110, 120. Instead of just putting these, all my 5s, 10s, and 20s like I do at the end, I like to keep these categories identified, because I know I've got to keep money in these first. So if something were to happen, I would come back and pull money at the end of my binder instead of, for groceries. That would not be my first choice, okay? So lunch, I need 4 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80. So each week I'm going to give myself a 20. That's why I have 4 20s, if that makes sense. Miscellaneous, I need 4 10s. Giving, I need 4 5s, I think. Yep. 5, 10, 15, and 20. I went out to eat lunch with my daughter yesterday at our the best little restaurant we love to go to with the best coffee. I guess you could call it brunch. And then afterwards we went to the jewelry store and she picked up some diamond earrings to wear to her wedding. And she bought her fiance his wedding band. So that was exciting. Okay, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now we got to get to this side. So insurance, I need 2 100s, 150, and 1 5. Okay. Let me see. So 255, 100, 200, 50, and 5. So here's my insurance bill. Whenever it comes out of my checking account, I'll come here and pay it and put it in my bank bag. Water bill is $80, and I said 4 20s for that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need 4 20s for my water bill. Next is electricity, $233. So I need 2 100s, 120, 110, and 3 1s. So that should be 233. 100, 200, 20, 30, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, my phone is $60, and I said 3 20s for that. It said $60 in my phone. And I went ahead and updated my little budget ledger sheets. Remember how important those sheets are, guys. Don't try to do like me and say you don't need them. Because you will get, something will happen and you're going to say, I don't understand what I did wrong. It will help you keep everything in order when you make a mistake. And trust me, you will make a mistake. That's just, we're not perfect. You know? Okay, so I'm on the internet, so $85. So 50, 60, 70, 85. Okay, next is checking fees. That's going to be easy because it's $7, I believe. 5 and 2 1s, $7. That's to make sure nobody hacks my checking account, I suppose. I'm sure it's an important service that I have to pay for every single month. But still, it's crazy. If I'm putting my money in your bank, maybe you should keep it safe. I don't know. Car insurance. No, car service plan. Let's see how I have that. Just a 100. How did I lose a 100? Apparently, guys, I have lost a $100 bill. That's so funny. See what I'm talking about? Anyway, I'm going to put a $1 bill, and then after I shut off this video, I'm going to go see where I put that 100. I know it's in there. Good. Card service plan. Scrubbies is $35. So I need 120. 110 and 1 5 for $35. And then my subscription is 100, and let's see what I did for that. See, I still have Let's see if I have it in here. So I do need to go find that 100. I'm not crazy. It's in one of these envelopes, I'm sure. I will definitely find it. I'm not worried because I counted my money 3 times. I must have grabbed 2 100s. That's why it's so important to keep little ledgers, okay? But I'll do that off camera. Okay, so gas, I'm going to need, I think what I'm going to have to do for gas, because originally I did not total things up correctly. Well, I'll just do 320s. I can take care of that later. So 60 for gas. And I did not budget for my pets this month because I already have everything they need for January. So I'll put money into that next month. And so now all I do is take my ones and put them in my ones. And this will be for stuffing all of my other envelopes for the whole month. And the reason I do this, instead of stuffing later, is because if something were to happen, I can come and take this money from the 1s to the 5s. I'll take it first and just won't budget for the rest of the month. Because all of my bills are taken care of, see? They're all here. Everything that's important that's going to keep me alive is right here. All of this will be money that if something were to happen and I needed it, then I can pull from here first. So that's why I choose not to stuff on a monthly basis, because then I would have to go through all of my binders and pull money. That's just the way I choose to do it. And since I'm taking this money out of the bank, you can just go to the bank once a week, and then the money will be sitting in your checking account. That might be the easiest way. I just didn't want to go to the bank once a week and let them give me all these little small denominations when I could go just once a month and let them do it. But my binder is completely full. I've got to go and find that $100 bill, but I'll do that. And this is my bank for the month of January. And then at the end of January, this whole binder will be empty. I hope that helps. Tomorrow we'll be stuffing envelopes, so I'll see you then. Y'all have a great day. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a message. Talk to you later. Bye.